Rebecca Chambers survived the Spencer Mansion, but Resident Evil 4 isn't about survival alone. It's about enduring something far worse. This time, Rebecca replaces Leon, sent to a remote European village with one objective: rescue Ashley. No backup, no experience with Las Plagas, and no room for error. But Rebecca isn't as alone as she thinks, because somewhere in the background, Ada Wong is already watching. Rebecca isn't a soldier like Leon. She's a medic, a chemist, trained to understand biological threats, not overpower them. And in a situation like this, that might be the only reason she survives. The village is chaos, and chaos favors aggression. Leon fights through it, Rebecca avoids it. Against Dr. Salvador, she doesn't win. She escapes. And that difference matters. Because Rebecca doesn't push forward through force, she survives by not being where the danger is. But Mendez is different. He's faster, stronger, and relentless. This isn't something Rebecca can outthink in the moment. She survives the fight, but only by creating distance, and never letting him close the gap. This is one of her first real limits. And it's also where things quietly change, because Rebecca isn't completely alone. Ada doesn't step in directly, but she shifts outcomes. A distraction, a delay, a moment that shouldn't exist, suddenly does. And for Rebecca, that's enough to keep moving forward. Del Lago forces a direct confrontation. No escape, no hiding. And surprisingly, this is where Rebecca performs well. Because the fight isn't about strength, it's about timing and control. For the first time, Rebecca isn't surviving by luck, she's surviving by skill. But the castle changes everything, because this is where Rebecca gets infected. And unlike Leon, she understands exactly what that means. Rebecca has something Leon doesn't: the ability to understand what's happening inside her body. But understanding it doesn't stop it from spreading. Salazar turns the fight into chaos, and chaos punishes hesitation. Rebecca can survive this, but it pushes her to her absolute limit, because every second she hesitates, the infection gets worse. Krauser is something else entirely. This isn't a monster. This is a trained killer. Precise, aggressive, relentless. And against someone like Rebecca, this is where everything should end. She can't match his speed, she can't match his strength, and she can't outfight him. So she doesn't. She survives by retreating, by creating space, and by lasting just long enough for something to interrupt the fight. Because while Rebecca is struggling to survive, Ada is already moving. Krauser isn't just Rebecca's problem, he's part of Ada's mission. And when their paths cross, it changes everything. Not in the way Rebecca fully sees, but in a way that allows her to keep going. The regenerators should be impossible, but for Rebecca they're different. Because this isn't just a fight, it's anatomy. For the first time, Rebecca understands the enemy better than the situation itself, and that knowledge keeps her alive. But survival doesn't end with escape, because at the center of everything is Osmond Sadler. And unlike everything before him, this isn't something Rebecca can avoid. Rebecca doesn't defeat Sadler through force. She survives long enough for the situation to collapse around him. With Ashley rescued and the parasite removed, she escapes, not victorious, but alive. Rebecca Chambers can survive Resident Evil 4. She can rescue Ashley, and with the right resources, she can remove the parasite. But she doesn't survive by overpowering the nightmare. She survives because she understands it. And because when she can't win alone, she doesn't have to.